Hello and welcome. It's Bashir Fadl as we continue our journey into Python programming. Continuing from last episode where we were talking about as we're getting into more complex development, then we would need to import libraries, include different kind of packages. In this case, we want to get into visualizations and plotting. So we're going to need to include a library called the matplot library. We need to import that. So how do we install it? There's a couple of ways. We can use a GUI interface, such as the ID we're using from the very beginning of the class. We'll be using PyCharm, and we showed how to install it from the first episode. So how are we going to install matplot library within PyCharm? But also, how can we use it within the terminal if you're using something such as a command line, whether we're using Linux or Unix or your CMD in Windows. So let's go ahead and jump into it and get to see both ways of doing it. Now, I'm trying to import it. I'm printing out the version, but I don't have it installed yet. So if I run it, let's see what I get down here. I get an error message that says this module is not found. So there's a couple ways of doing it, the GUI interface or the terminal. So I can click terminal from within PyCharm itself, or I can go through CMD if I'm doing it in Windows, or any command, whether I'm in Linux or a different OS. The GUI interface is where I can go to File, and then I'll go to Manage IDE Settings. I'm sorry, New Project Setup, and then Settings for New Project, and then choose the project that I'm working with. Those are the packages that are already installed. I don't see matplib in here, matplotlib, so I'm going to go in and click on plus to install it. And let's search for it, narrow it down by putting matplot. And the moment I have it highlighted, I can click on Install Package. And you can see it says installing. It's a little circle that shows that it's installing. Shouldn't take more than a few seconds. Now, package matplot installed successfully. So let's go ahead and close this out. Click OK. Now let's go ahead and import it and run the print command to see what version that we have. And it's telling us that we have version 3.7.1. Now, if I want to run from this terminal to do my installation, or from the regular Windows CMD command, where do I find those commands? Simply go to kinseytech.com, and then search for the Python programming class. We'll click on it. If you're trying to get the whole content, you can register and sign up for the class, but we don't need that at this point. So we just simply scroll down to Python libraries, where we have full access to those free previews, and we can click on Python library download documentation. And we're going to get the step-by-step. So we'll go to the terminal, whether in PyCharm or through the CMD command if you're in DOS or whatever terminal you're using in Linux. And then you could check the version of Python that you have using this command, the version of PIP, and then to install matplotlib, it's pip install matplotlib. And then to make sure that everything installed correctly and see the version, that's the command to run. All right, and there's some extra notes down here below as well that you could use. All right, hopefully this kind of answered our question and showed us how we can install it as we adventure and move forward into bigger things, plotting and charts and kind of machine learning into Python. See you in the next episode.